Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to start looking at something I've wanted to do for a long time, and that's to do a comparison of all the different rust treatments that are available, things like ACF 50 and FS365, to see how they compare. So today we're going to kick it off, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the process I'm going to do and where I need your help, because I do need your help on this one. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so thanks for joining us again. I hope you've survived the heat we've had recently. It's only been quite testing, isn't it? Even quite hot to be out on the bike, certainly in town. But what I want to start looking at today is the various rust treatments that are on the market. And I'll go through in a minute the ones that I've already got lined up, and I need your help to suggest perhaps others that I haven't picked up on that you'd like to see included in the test before we actually get going on it. But I wanted to explain a little bit about why I think I've got something a little bit different to offer from other people who've done this in the past. Most of the guys I've seen do it in the past have had various rigs set up to expose the products to sort of like pressure washers with salt solution in there to try and mimic what it's like. I've kind of got the natural alternative. For those of you who don't already know, I live down on the south coast of the UK. I'm about half a mile actually from the seashore. And the prevailing wind blows salt over my home on a quite regular basis. And if you have a look on a map, and I'll put a map up in a second, I actually live in the town of Saltdean, and it's called Saltdean for a very good reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these various products on a bit of mild steel sheet and put it on a bracket, and then we're actually going to look at how these products perform in the real world, in a real environment where salt spray is kind of like a daily occurrence if the wind is blowing in the right direction, which it invariably does down here. Okay, so let's get started. Let's introduce the products I've shortlisted so far. Okay guys, so this is what we're going to be using. We've got the Scottoiler FS365 WD-40, just to see how that copes. New one which I hadn't seen before from Muc-Off, HCB1. Everyone's favourite up until this point, at least, ACF 50, which we all know and love, and also XCP Professional Rust Blocker Clear Coat. Now there is another XCP Professional product which I'll be getting in the next day or so to add to the list. That will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll give me a couple more spare. Now I can have one as a control just to bear a bit of steel, just for a bit of a laugh, but it would be really good to get another couple of products. So if there's products that you know of that you'd like me to include, please pop in the comments down below, and if I get that feedback in the next week, then I'll get those ordered, I'll include them in the test, and then the next one I'll do in a couple of weeks, we'll go through all those products, including the extra 1 or 2 that you've put forward. Okay, so unfortunately I'm without a tripod today, so it's all going to be a bit freehand and a bit rough and ready. I apologise for that. I managed to break that. So what I'll do now is I'll pop you down for a second, and I'll just screw on these bits of bare steel, and I'll explain why I've done it the way I've done it in a moment. Right guys, this is what I've done so far. I've just screwed on the 8 bits of mild steel. They're all going to be cleaned thoroughly before I put any product on there. I haven't, I've deliberately bolted them or screwed them on to the piece of wood before I've actually put any product on, because I want to see how well the product actually creeps behind the bit of steel and the wood. So in other words, you know, if you've got a joint or something on your bike, how well is that product going to creep into there and protect it from the weather and the corrosion, the salt and what have you. Hence also why I've got them at a slight angle, or about 45 degrees, because I want to see any sort of rust staining that sort of drips out the back of it, for want of a better description. That's the theory anyway. We'll see how that pans out. But as I said before, what I really need your help on, or your suggestions, it is, as you can see, I've got 5 products here already. I've got another one of the XCP products coming to see how that compares between the 2 and as well as with the others. But I really need your input on what the other 2 products might be. We could have just a blank one and see how just a bit of mild steel rust, but we know that's going to rust pretty quickly. But it'd be really good to have your suggestions as to what other 2 products I'd include in this test going forward. So if you're watching this in the sort of a few days after it goes live, if you could pop your comments below, that'd be really helpful. So what I want to do is to get this underway, buy the other two products, get everything sprayed up and get this bit of wood hanging up in the garden where it's going to get covered in salt spray very, very quickly. Okay, so it's a very short one this morning to introduce you to this little series of videos that we're going to have over the weeks and months ahead. And as I say, I really need your input to help me get started. All right, guys, thanks again for all your input. All the likes and all the comments are much appreciated, and I'll catch up with you shortly. Cheers for now, guys. Bye-bye.